to change, and
So
we're
what
not going to
you
get into quite so many arguments about things that are just
well, can
like
we still
opinion,
argue
you know.
about tone wood? So what you're
Uh,
saying is tone wood doesn't matter. Everything I do doesn't matter.
Hank's trying to start a war.
I hear people
I'll
say
die
that,
on that. Sorry.
but I'll add. Well, to answer one of your questions, your PV's heavy because it's made from particle board, and so it's super heavy. I had a half stack PV from back in the day, and it was a beast. I mean, it was built like a tank. It never failed. It worked flawlessly for years and years. But I'm happy I don't have it anymore. The other thing I just wanted to comment on with the speaker, totally agree with the speaker things. You can definitely alter your tone so much from it, but there is a pairing that's important to pay attention to. Because right now, as you said, people just love the Vintage 30. They use it in everything. It's all over the place. And I bought an amp not too long ago, and I was really struggling to get uh, the tones I was desiring from it. And I was honestly, I was this close to getting rid of it. And then I had an old Marshall cab here, and some of my first streams actually was me rebuilding this cabinet, and I filled it with greenbacks, and I hooked that 412 greenback speaker instead of the 412 vintage 30s up to this amp that I was struggling with, and instantaneously got the tones I was searching for. So not only is it a speaker thing, but it's sort of like the pickup thing where finding the right pickup in the right guitar and getting that happy marriage going is where the magic is. And it takes a long time sometimes to search that out and find it, but it's a very good point. Speakers not all created equal, and there's a lot of you can open your tones up from the same amp just by switching that up, and it is one of those things that people do not change all that often.
There's a thing also we were talking about earlier. It's the fact that Les Paul, they sound good, or Fenders, they all sound good, and that's why they're still here. But it's like making food. It's like making food. You have your different recipes, and when you try to sell something, I don't think you can put a patent on a list of ingredients. I mean, shepherd's pie is made from a specific list of ingredients, and if you try to add something new, it's no longer a shepherd's pie. Just an example. So if you try to make a simple boost and you try adding a clipping stage to it, then it's no longer a simple boost. Also, whatever sounds great to somebody's ears might not sound as great to somebody else's ears. The same thing as with food. So if you sell your product that'll taste great to somebody and tastes awful to somebody else, how can you then figure I'm going to make something that'll plead to the masses? That'll please the masses, that'll be great for everybody. How can you figure something out when you take a new when you want to put a new product online or on the market? And I think that the best way to deal with that question is to just go with your gut feeling and hope that people are like it. And if they don't, then you modify your recipe to try something else. I don't know what's your take on that.
I
Anyone?
use the I use the food uh, uh, comment all the time. I think it's totally apt. Not, I mean, you could serve the same dish to 100 people, and 33 of those people are going to think it's not salty enough. 33 of those people are probably going to think it's just right, and 33 of people think it's going to need some salt. Like it just, there is no pleasing everybody. So the trick is to make something that you think is awesome, and the people who have like-mindedness and discover it will come find you. It's something, I think I said that to you, Hank, for early on. I was like, just follow your heart, build what you build, and the people who line up with your way of thinking will seek you out and find you. That's just kind of how it works. I think trying to make a Big Mac or something that's going to please every single person out there is not. I mean, if you're only in it just to make money and that's all you want to do is just sell a bazillion pedals or something, that's one way to go. But I think, you know, in this day and age, like the idea is to make something that just sounds super good to you, and the other people who find it also taste